And we are back once again. We're doing a double header tonight. Back-to-back shows as we had to do, our regular show with a little bit of NXT TakeOver action, predictions. But then there's this other little show that's happening this week. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was really struggling to find any wrestling content to watch this week. And apparently
there's wrestling on this week?
I think there might be.
This is my dark week of the year. I actually have it scheduled. I have it blocked off. No wrestling.
No.
I'm really gonna work on myself. That sort of shit. And I was like, I think I picked a good week because I don't think anything's going on.
No, definitely not. Apart from a little event on Saturday and Sunday called Wrestlemania. 37 this year, right?
Yeah.
37.
Wrestlemania.
I'm getting older. I'm getting older by the year, by the Wrestlemania.
Now
I'm wearing a Wrestlemania 33 shirt, which is what we went.
Yes. I know. I have
We were some young bucks back then.
We were some young bucks. Unfortunately, not appearing at WrestleMania. But I think it's we've talked about it on the show plenty, but it is important for us to note how big of a deal this show is, not just for WWE and the people involved, but I don't know that I'm being I'm exaggerating here. I think this is a big deal for the world, much as the Super Bowl was. This is. I think WWE would like it or like you to believe that this is one of those things that's like, look, we're making this the turning point in the pandemic where we've got crowds back in the building. We've got, they want to be those people that are kind of doing it. And look, the biggest crowd since the beginning of the pandemic, and we're back in business, and we're all this, right? I think it is important, to acknowledge that. And have we heard at all how they're handling it with, obviously we know there's going to be some sort of social distancing between groups and pods of people, but are they going to do like the Super Bowl did? Have we heard if they're doing cardboard cutouts? Because that was always my wonder.
I haven't heard anything, and honestly, I figured that by now we would have heard something so that they could approve and they could make the things.
Sure.
But maybe they're not. Maybe
it's a surprise, and it's just maybe they just take WWE superstars and they make them the cutouts that they put in there. So you're sitting next to Papa Shango or John Cena or what I mean?
Maybe. That's an awful lot of superstars. So you're going to have an awful lot of duplicates in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they won't do the cutouts. It's just been done a couple of times now, and especially with the Super Bowl, they're going to want to set themselves apart. So I can see WWE and Vince doing something else, and it's not going to be, because we've talked about it on the podcast before. I don't think it's going to be, and I think you guys would agree, Duncan. You pointed out also the rigging and how running all the cabling. If you were going to put LEDs in between pods of people and things like that, I also think that would just be so weird to watch with LED screens between groups of real people.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That would be a little too fucking
Black Mirror.
It would be jarring. It would be
a little too much. We're not quite there, even though we're all talking through video.
It's different.
But I feel like they're going to do. They have to do something, but I don't think it's going to be the cutouts. I think Vince is kind of controlling enough to say, we have to do something different.
There was an interview with Stephanie, I believe, at one time that they were I want to say it was Steph, that when asked about the cutouts, that WWE as a whole were very anti them this whole time.
They were anti them, and then when the Super Bowl happened and it was sort of a success, they were just maybe we can make some money.
Because it did actually look good, especially on those flyover shots, and when it's a little softened on the focus and everything, next to real people, blend it all in. It made it look like that Raymond James Stadium was absolutely packed to the brim. I mean, when I first tuned in, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. This looks packed. And then realized what was going on like an idiot. But yeah, I feel like I don't know what the answer is, but
I mean, I've been looking up tickets for it fairly consistently just because I'm just like, I really want to see our boy on Sunday.
Reggie.
And dude, like you can get single seats, but there's not a whole lot of availability for them, and where they are available are just kind of like you can get some in the upper level, some in the mid level.
Are they opening the whole stadium for this? Okay, that was
it's the whole stadium except for where they're building the stage, obviously. So you got to figure it's sort of think about the outlay of the stadium in Orlando for 33. Thank you for wearing the shirt, Matthew. And like how they had sort of like that back of the stadium was all blocked off for the stage, and then there's the ramp. So, but they like built up around it. So it's kind of like
so imagine they built their stage setting. They're going to it's Mania, so they're going to show off, but it's a Mania, the first one in front of people in 2 years. So they're going to show it off even more. Imagine that the planning behind it, they're like, oh, you bought a seat for $500 and you are right behind this fucking column because we planned all of this except for how we were spacing the people out. So your $500 ticket is behind a column.
You make a good point. It's so different and something they've never done. Unprecedented as we've like I'm so sick of that word.
Have either of you guys?
But you make a good point that might slip through the cracks 100%.
Yeah. Right?
Have either of you seen the drone footage?
I've seen a little bit of the drone footage. It hasn't shown too much to me. It seems like they're building the stage kind of around on the same side as the ship, right? The pirate ship?
Yes, and it looks like they're building their own pirate ship in front of it, and they won't be using
the actual Raymond James pirate.
James, like that's a backstage thing.
Fuck that pirate ship.
I've heard a lot of shit. Yeah, no, because it's probably they won't let them use their pirate ship. It's definitely more
honestly they're building.
It's a fully functional bar too. Like they can't like it's a not only just VIP. A cool looking thing. It's like a VIP section bar, everything. So they don't want them fucking that up. But I've heard
Which they would.
Yeah, they would. And I've heard. Have you heard these reports of like sand being brought in? Like, there's a lot of sand being brought in, apparently.
Oh,
so
they're going to build...
They're making a beach on the stage, I think, is my guess. But there's... I mean, and that will be cool if it's like a pirate ship that they make.
You know what? I'm really cool. Fucking for that because I've been saying for a long time that I've wanted, like, branded pay-per-views or something like where the entry... Like, it's something that was lost a long time ago. Even if they did in the big four like every year and that was all I got like the stage change for, I would be okay. But I absolutely love it when there is a stage change and they like lean into whatever
this is their chance. This is their chance to do it.
Well, it's like they did with Armenia in Orlando
with the roller coaster.
The roller coaster, they had the whole like theme park setting, and then in New Orleans they had the big Mardi Gras mask, and then so like
I'm ready to go.
Yep. Yeah.
Give me the green light.
Give me the green light.
Give me the green light.
Of course, we've got several celebrities that'll be showing up there, at WrestleMania.
Sami Zayn dance.
And we've talked about it at length, who that first person is out in front of the crowd on WrestleMania night. Dude, it might be
with Shane McMahon.
Was it me? I said
it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
I'm not gonna lie, I was high as fuck one night and I just texted Duncan and I'm just like, oh my God, it's gonna be Hogan, isn't it? It's gonna be Hogan, isn't it?
And you hurt my friends and you hurt my pride. I gotta be a man.
I actually lean towards
welcome to the cock, brother, and I mean peacock. WrestleMania.
Big old thermos. And I got
Here's my buddy Titus O'Neil. Never had a problem with him, never will.
Oh God.
Okay, which brings up another question. Do you think they actually have them co-host it,
I
or does
know,
Hogan
like,
do
or
the
are they
first night
on?
and
I think it's
Titus
separate
does-
nights. I think they're going to
think it
do
is, too.
separate nights. I think that's I think you brought that up, and I think that's super smart. I also think what another thing, just tugging on your dick here, Duncan. But one of the things that I lean towards that you said last
Which
week
is my dick is what you
is
lean towards.
is that no, the first people out in front of the crowd, it's the New Day. You
Yeah.
predicted that, and I think it's got to be. I think it's
Yeah.
the New Day, and I think it's the perfect choice because it gets some of that pressure off Drew, who is the other person that would be that person to come out. And I think it takes that pressure off Bianca and Sasha, and it's going to be seen as a huge moment. And what better, fun-loving, hey, the world's back open type of act to come out is the New Day. Like, that's, I think,
And yeah, sorry, I
it's
had
New
it
Day
for a
or
second,
Hogan.
but I'm like, no, I'm like, also, it's like, if you're on a new network, you now have this. Who do you want? Because across the spectrum, for the most part, like, I would say, give the New Day a Rotten Tomatoes score across the wrestling world, and like, everyone has a soft spot. Every Smark, every fucking kid, every fucking,
higher than
you know what I'm
Hogan
saying?
will.
Like, they're across the board. It's one of those things where, like, you will pop for them and be stoked. You can also do a big entrance because they've had those big entrances before. And so that does make sense. I hadn't thought of that, but it's like the greatest way, because you're going to have people who were on Peacock who didn't have WWE who could just turn into WrestleMania for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is why this is also a genius move. So,
and then you have Hogan come out after them.
And then, yeah, you hook them. You let them come down, do their thing, and then
followed by Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley as your first actual second
WWE's
match.
writers are fucking frantically rewriting WrestleMania right now as we're talking. They're listening to this and literally.
Yep,
probably.
Dude,
they're
I got
scrambling.
A friend of mine into WrestleMania or into wrestling because of WrestleMania last year during the height of the pandemic, when like everything was weird, everything was shut down, we were all locked up in our houses, and it's like, okay, well, WrestleMania is going to be an empty arena show. I was like, well, and I was just like, hey, if you're bored and you need some sort of live entertainment, here you go.
There you go. The Undertaker's going to have his last match. As of a year ago, what, yesterday or the day before or something?
Yeah. Something like that. Also, then you have the, if the New Day do come out first and you do go straight into their match with AJ Styles and Omos, you have this crazy little ability here to not only showcase the New Day to people that have never seen them, and people will be like, wow, like, they're funny, they're fun, I kind of like them. But then you get to see maybe some crazy cool wrestling, good wrestling, with AJ Styles and Xavier and Kofi. And then you have this spectacle that is Omos, right?
Yeah.
So it checks a lot of boxes as your first match. You have then the ability to have the funny side of things. We'll get into the predictions in just a second, and maybe we just start with this right now. When you're thinking about like the New Day and Kofi and Xavier, I think there's going to be a lot of comedy in this match with AJ and Omos. And I think that the logical thing is that the New Day win and retain, and that Omos and AJ split. I think there's particular, like, there's stuff that you can do there. So if we want to hop into that prediction, we can right now.
Okay. Well, yes, we can and we should. But first, do you think that, because, yes, I called New Day, but do you think New Day open up and then Hogan hosts afterwards? Because they've never had it be like that before.
But I think everything's off the fucking table at this point, especially with Hogan and like what I feel like they know what they're doing somehow. I don't think that Hogan comes out and is just like, they might do something on the pre-show.
But why do they?
But then that completely ruins the the thing. Does New Day come down with Hogan as like a solidarity thing? And
I sure as
remember,
fuck hope not.
I don't think
well,
so.
if I remember correctly, one of the people that were very anti-Hogan backstage when he tried to make his apology, one of them in particular was Big E. And Big E not being with Xavier and Kofi would allow for that in a weird, twisted way.
Yeah, but
I
don't
know
think
I'm
Xavier-
stretching here. I know I'm stretching, but
yeah, but like
it's something they would do though. It's like that's.
But I don't think it's something that
It's not a
that
good
New
look.
Day would do.
Yeah, I hope not. I would. This one's tough. Maybe it's Titus on night 1, and night 2 it's Hogan, and Titus could come down with or introduce the New Day. Maybe he could do like a bit of the Big E stuff, or
Well,
like
don't forget that they still have to do the stupid like America the Beautiful or whatever.
right. That's
Night
usually
1.
pre-show.
I don't think they're doing much of a pre-show.
It's an
like
hour
all the-
with no matches.
Okay.
It's an hour with no matches.
So it's it's video and people.
Yeah. It's going to be all the pomp and circumstance and that
You
type
don't
of
think
stuff.
there's a 24-hour title change or attempt on that?
I mean, maybe
Night
that.
2.
It won't be a legit match, but
No, they're doing that weird Old Spice thing, so that'll happen at some point during
That'll happen in a break or something. Where they're setting up the steel cage for Shane's match or something like that.
right.
Yeah, I don't know how they exactly do it. It's going to be interesting, but
I mean, we're gonna have
either
to
way,
watch and see.
Either way, while we're talking about it, let's just predict: are all of us going New Day on this? New Day versus AJ Omos. I am. I'm going New Day. That's what I'm doing on that.
I'm going. Well, I'm a champion, so
You can get the champion's advantage is you go whenever you want.
That's
whenever
true.
I want.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you just put yourself at a disadvantage when you say yours, first. And I just decided to. I feel very confident New Day retains on this because AJ doesn't need it. AJ and Omos don't.
AJ doesn't need it, but if you're going to establish Almost
Nah,
as a main roster,
AJ's
person,
gonna cost Almost the match, and Almost is gonna he's gonna berate him, and Almost is gonna storm off, and he's gonna go on and do his own thing.
It's
and
gonna be a very
eliminated.
typical split.
Yes.
I'll go New Day. It seems like the most logical because also you can see that there's fracturing between AJ and Omos just in the way that they've because
he can't guess his favorite
AJ
color and all that things
well,
like
and not
that.
only
He
that,
doesn't
but
really know
Omos
him.
is very clearly not amused by any of it.
Mhm.
So I'm going New Day. Matthew?
I'm going AJ Almost.
Oh wow. I can honestly say too. I think Almost has a lot more of a comedic side than we have even realized yet. I've got this he's got this little smirk about him and this little bit of like charisma, if you will. Like I'm picking up on. Do you guys feel that way or am I alone in that?
He's kind of a sleeper. I can see that.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about it until now, but now that I'm thinking back, I can see those little there's something behind his eyes where I think he can let the steam go. So
I mean, I think it's kind of like a lot of the superstars, and they all have that potential. It's just, are they going to get to show it or not?
I think it would serve him well eventually.
Yeah,
Maybe not now,
absolutely.
but I think it would serve him well eventually.
Yeah, I think you just don't want to turn him into like a tall, goofy comedy character because then he's just the Great Gali or Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what we do with Omos yet. I think that picture will become a little bit more clear in this match and at WrestleMania, and we can see what it's like going forward. This whole card is kind of, I started off with this New Day thing, right? And it's because it is so hard to predict. Like a lot of people are still saying, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley will open up WrestleMania, and I can see that. And that's why I want to predict that one next and talk about this match, because it is very interesting, the dynamic which has gone on. We've got Bobby Lashley, who has almost tried to hire people as goons to take out Drew McIntyre. We've got the splitting of the Hurt Business,
which was apparently fought very hard by the Hurt Business, and Vince was just like, nope.
Or is this all a ruse? Is it
a charade?
Is
the
it
red
a
herring.
right?
Yeah.
Is it a ruse so that they end up, doing something? I think that there is some involvement from the Hurt Business in this match, and they'd be foolish to kind of not do it, because it's the way that you get out of this situation. It's a way, honestly, I think that the Hurt Business somehow finds a way to turn it on Bobby Lashley and cost Bobby Lashley the match, therefore keeping Bobby Lashley strong and getting your Drew McIntyre WrestleMania moment that he's deserved, and that I think the WWE booking wants. And
I have a hot take.
Please.
I do not give a shit about Drew's WrestleMania moment.
And that's fair. I think there are a lot of fans that do, and it's been talked about so much. I think 2 months ago you might have had a slightly less hot take. Would that be fair?
2 months ago, yeah, I think maybe, but still,
is it because of how good Bobby Lashley is?
Yes. And it's also because Drew's moment was last year. Don't try and force it this year when it's clearly not his this year. It was like the year that Daniel Bryan should have won the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And didn't win the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean?
Drew doesn't get a pass just because it was the pandemic type thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. It was still
I understand that
WrestleMania.
logic. I do understand that logic.
He still got the win at WrestleMania in the most dominant fashion over Brock Lesnar that could have been done. So, I don't know. I think that I'm going Bobby Lashley.
Oof. Man, oh man. I knew this was going to shape up to be interesting. I don't know which, I think a couple months ago it would have been a safe bet in this predicament for me to say Drew McIntyre is the safe bet. It's not the safe bet anymore. It's not.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It can go either way.
Because exactly what we talked about, the way that I think we're going to get something weird where someone is going to step up to the plate to take out Drew McIntyre night of, right? And try and take that bounty. And I think we're going to have a face turn for Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander when they take out that person as to not take out Drew McIntyre, therefore allowing Drew McIntyre to beat Bobby Lashley with maybe some distraction-y type thing or something, right? I think Drew McIntyre wins this match. That's just personally where I'm going. I'm going Drew.
What if Karrion Kross is the one that comes up?
Ooh, that's scary.
I'm just saying,
if he's the guy that picks up the check from Lashley to beat the fuck out of Drew.
Yeah.
I would not hate that at all.
And Kross and Lashley would take out everybody. Like Shelton and Cedric would come down and they would fuck them up too.
Yeah. And then Lesnar shows up to Drew's aid.
Yes.
Ooh.
Which is
he's pulling the Lesnar card. He's pulling the Lesnar card. You always say it's me.
Yeah, well, which is because I think that they would have gotten Lashley wouldn't have the title if Brock Lesnar wasn't not around. It's a double negative, I understand.
I understand.
Oh, you're saying to set up the match between Lesnar and Lashley.
Yeah.
I think they thought they could get Lesnar back before this.
Yeah.
And I think they
that
didn't. So they had to make the call. They put on Lashley, which was good. But now the question is, if Lashley drops it, it's kind of like we're all pissed because he dropped it too soon, but Drew still deserves it. It's like in the fans' mind, the real fans' mind, like Lashley could use it, but this is still a good enough push that puts him in that title run. And then when you bring someone like Brock back and like things like that, like
Brock Lashley doesn't need to be for a title.
But it doesn't have to be. But I'm just saying, like, you can now, like, Lashley is now, he's been elevated, right, to this point. Same way Jinder Mahal was elevated, let's say, right? So, but all jokes aside, like, he has been now pushed into this like, has proved and to his own accord has proven that he's been able to, like, carry it.
Well, to your point, really quickly, I think right now, if Drew were to win, like the next feud, if you were to bring back Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre, we'd all believe it and all like it. Like that to your absolute point.
Yes. And I think that you put Lashley in a position that Lashley can still come back, can still gain that title again. Like, I think if he still has the title in a month, I will be more bored.
You think
I'm not saying he's done a bad job. I just think, like, in a month, like, what are you doing? So now is a kind of a perfect time, especially on a night one. So because I don't know, I haven't been writing these down. It just seems like we're on this trend where you need to have this kind of thing happen. In one way or another, it works, but it works more for Drew, for me.
Okay.
So you're going Drew.
You're going Drew.
Yeah.
All right.
Took you guys around the cul-de-sac a couple of times for dropping that.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Just like, I think for me, like the ship has sailed on Drew. Like,
I think you're being too harsh, man.
They built a ship.
I think it's wrestling, and I can have whatever opinion I would like to have.
Yes, sir.
I'm just not feeling
Twitter
him
and
anymore.
Reddit decide.
Yeah, you let Twitter and Reddit decide the things that I'm not on.
Yep, that you're gonna think about.
So, here's a Twitter and Reddit match for you: Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Man, this could really be good, huh?
Yeah, we've talked about it in weeks past that this could be good.
How much time do you think they give him? Do you think they give him 15? 12?
They're gonna give him.
I hope they give him 20.
They're gonna give him 10. They're gonna go 11.
I think they should give longer. Like, look, the Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, like the entrances will be longer than the match.
Fair point.
And I think, unfortunately, the women's tag team turmoil match will also be super short and ultimately pointless.
We'll get to that one in just a second because I have some thoughts on that one.
I am going with fuck it. I'm going Cesaro.
Me too. It's time, right? Seth doesn't need it. Seth can easily eat this loss, and it would build Cesaro into something.
Seth also kind of like has a shitty record on WrestleMania, like with the exception of his cash in.
Yeah, if you think about it, he probably does.
Yeah, I think he's only like, I think WrestleMania 31 or WrestleMania Play Sign was the last one that he like really had a
Play Sign. I forgot about
that. Matthew, who you got? You going with the Monday Night Messiah, who's not on Monday Night anymore?
Nope.
You going Cesaro?
Yep, I'm going Cesaro
with Superman.
Yeah, and I think they're going to put on an awesome match. You guys made all the points. I mean, Seth doesn't need to win this. This brings Cesaro into a more kind of like higher mid card, which he's been on this higher mid card, but I think more on the mid card until recently. Like now he's kind of working that way up. It establishes him. He's worth it. I think they're friends. I mean, outside of this, like good friends. So like, this means like not only like should they have a good match, but like they've probably talked about it and they're gonna fucking have a good match and there should be some fucking good chemistry there.
Cesaro in line for either a mid card or a universal title shot at some point to be able to like still keep Cesaro more in the main card.
Yeah,
level
that's
of things.
come on.
I think
that's
so, and I just hope they don't. And I think they're going to now, but I hope they don't do like a Cesaro versus Sheamus, like just to like kind of stall them both, where they've both now been elevated a little bit.
Luckily, they're both
and now,
on different rosters.
I know, but eventually that's going to shake up, and anything can happen the night
well,
after
eventually
Mania.
we will see that. Like, eventually we'll see the Bar versus the
Yeah.
Bar, which was how they got started in the first place. So,
So
I just hope they don't fall back on it too soon. I guess is what I was saying.
I'm trying to find out the rules of a tag team turmoil match. Do you guys have much of a clue? Because
I do not, and
So take a regular tag team match and add turmoil.
and yeah, okay. I feel like this is one of those like weird stipulations that is made up to add some extra spicy things to it. Someone else is coming into this match. We don't know the full. I don't think we know the full exact people that are in it, do we? I mean, we know some.
we do. No, I mean, as far as is being advertised by WWE,
but I think there might be another team or two that end up coming into this match.
Is this Reddit conspiracy?
A little bit.
Okay.
But it makes a lot.
But they also
sense.
fucked up and put out a graphic with Carmella and Billy Kay on it, and then fucking retracted that.
Yeah. Billy Kay was popping up in the segment on Raw, as well as like, being involved in this whole thing. I'll find a partner. And then it wasn't a full. I don't think it was full Carmella, was it? It was like the silhouette, and somebody obviously pieced it together.
And it was playing off of Carmella taking her resume last week. And
now here's their chance. Here's where they bring the Iconics back. This is their chance to do it if they were smart.
Yep, that makes sense.
That's like, okay, shit, it's not really working out for Peyton Royce, the way we thought it would.
No.
People are thinking it's Carmella. Maybe it was supposed to be Carmella originally. Sorry, Carmella, you're not on Mania anymore. Let's throw, Peyton Royce in and have the Iconics win the goddamn thing. But if that's not the case, were Peyton Royce and Carmella going to win it? I don't know. Because we got Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose, Lana and Naomi, Natalya and Tamina, Riot Squad, and the winners face Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, right? For night 2.
There's only four teams.
I hate the name Sexy Muscle Friends.
Is that the name?
For Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. That's what they're calling it.
Oh, wow. Sexy Muscle Friends. No.
Gross. No. I will never say that.
A lot of people are thinking that it's Lana and Naomi. Oh, but Natalya.
I can see that because they're both Florida girls.
Yeah.
I think it's Riot Squad unless fucking Billy Kay and or Carmella enter, and then it's like, is it Iconics or is it Carmella and Billy Kay, and then all of a sudden now Billy Kay turns on Carmella and the Icon. But you have to get, I don't know, you got to get them in the match somehow.
Or do you bring in the Bellas?
You do not bring in the Bellas. Here is what you do, and this is going to be my pick so that we shut up. Billy Kay and Carmella are my pick because what you do is they win to face Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler on night 2. Who's in Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler's corner?
Fucking Reggie. It's the Reggie connection. Who is
the Reggie? See,
God damn it, you're right.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
You've completely changed my mind. I want to go with that now for sure.
Oh, well.
Because you got the Carmella Reggie thing, and he can screw over Carmella with Nia, or to go the other way around. He can do either or.
One way or the other, like however they want to play it.
Ooh, I like that. I mean, and I also like Billy Kay and Carmella. I'm not gonna lie; those two will work well together.
Yeah,
and I think if they were to, oh my god, I'm going with it. Yep,
you're going.
Like in my mind, I think of Billy Kay how I used to think of Carmella annoyingly, and like Carmella's been pushed a little bit more now in my mind, whereas Billie Kay Now is like just as character, I guess, is what I'm
She's
speaking
fantastic.
as. Like, she annoys me, which is what she's supposed to do.
She's
Supposed to.
fantastic.
And she does a great job, which I think Carmella was supposed to do back in the day, and she annoyed me, and I think that that is a good pairing.
Really good shout, Duncan. Really good shout.
Really
That was
good.
literally,
I'm
I
taking
thought
the
of
champion's
that right
advantage.
now.
And it
because of
should
what you
be
just said.
the Reginald the Sommelier Women's Tag Team Championships. Like, that's what
It's
it really
true.
should be. So yeah, are you going with the same thing, Matthew?
He think he champions advantage to something.
I am.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
wow. That's crazy that my stone thoughts right there.
No, but it was good. It was too good to not. It was too good to not do.
Because it's one of those things that, that's the swerve that people aren't expecting. And when you,
And that'll be a nice surprise. It'll be a fun surprise too. I think that'll be like, I will be behind that.
If I hadn't seen our friend Tommy a couple days ago and shown him the match of Sasha and Reginald and with Carmella, I would have kind of forgotten about the connection between those two. And now I'm just like, fuck.
No, that makes total perfect sense. I love it to death. Go with it.
The WWE hire us.
Exactly. Oh, we got let's just do this one and get it out the way. Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon, in a steel cage match. I'll take it. Yeah, it's I mean, you can't have a whole feud with a heel character calling someone dumb the whole time, and not have the stupid person win, right? Like,
not have the dumb guy get his comeuppance. So
Yeah.
yes, we're going Braun,
especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
But
Right.
so do we know what type of steel cage it is? Is it a cell? Is it a cage?
My understanding,
it's going to be a.
If they ever say cage, it's a cage with a where you can get out the top.
Yeah.
So it's going to be but it's not going to be the.
It's going to be the smaller version of like a Hell in a Cell.
What if it was the blue cage, though? I would just pop for the blue cage. If that were the case, I would love it so much.
I would pop for the blue cage harder than anything in that fucking match.
Dude.
I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
So then, what are the rules in that? The same way you were talking about the tag match. Like, what are the rules in a steel cage match?
There's the door. There's the door in the
top.
top.
Can Braun throw him off the top?
The whole thing's designed, I think, for Braun to throw him off the top, right?
I know it is, but in the rules, can he do that and be disqualified?
Oh, that's a good point.
No.
Well, if he throws him to the outside, then he could be deemed stupid because he kills.
He broke the rule.
He kills Shane McMahon. Like, oh my God, he's so injured. But at the same time, Shane technically wins the match because he threw him out.
Because he escapes first.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
the
you
Vince
could go-
McMahon
yeah,
Big
yeah.
Show Stone Cold thing from the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. in 99.
Either way, we
Yeah.
win because we don't have to see Shane for a while or something. That whole point you just made, Matthew, really kind of does shift it.
It's really the only thing holding me back from going full Strowman, because I think Braun wins unless there is some sort of technicality.
You know what they say, never go
that
full
makes it happen.
Strowman.
And
Never
so
go full
I'm gonna be the odd man out this time. You guys have taken some fucking
Braun
chances.
Strowman.
I'll take some chances. I'm gonna say Shane. Fucking via DQ.
Well,
he is a McMahon, so that
yeah.
It doesn't really make sense. This is probably where I lose it, but
you got a whole nother night.
Well, in my heart to hearts, I really just feel like if WWE writers were that good, which they're not, because I'm talking about a skit where they're calling someone stupid for no reason. But maybe they
thought that Braun got gunged.
He did get gunged.
Oh yeah, the gunge.
Don't forget the gunge.
I'm afraid I've got some gunge news.
I got the gunge at Revolution.
The number one thing your gynecologist comes and tells you. I'm afraid I've got some gunge news.
You got the guns, mate.
If you're a female, if you go to the gynecologist, I'm afraid I've got some guns.
It does sound like an Australian phrase, though. It's just like, oi, you fucking guns.
Oh, I've got the guns, mate.
They use a lot of it too.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Braun, and Shane on that one. All right,
Braun
that's
and Shane O'Macko.
let's move to what just became, a tag team match.
We
An
knew it was
official
going
tag
to.
team.
Well, we knew it was going to, but I think me and Duncan were kind of floating around text about this last night, and I do believe there were some injuries present in the situation where they were playing it safe. That just in case, Damian Priest with a minor injury, and just in case John Morrison with a minor injury weren't ready, they could still market it as the match that they had probably, Bad Bunny's getting paid a lot of money for this, like they're going to use him somehow. So they were making sure that they were going to find a way with him and Miz to make it happen. No, turns out it's the match that this is a better thing, honestly. I'd rather see, Damian Priest help carry Bad Bunny than Bad Bunny and the Miz in a singles match. So
Absolutely.
100% agree.
So
I
realistically,
will say,
I also think this is one of the reasons that, and we haven't even talked about this yet, that some of the matches got moved to SmackDown. Think about it. Because they were maybe thinking that they weren't going to, John Morrison or Damian Priest weren't going to be ready to be able to have an actual tag match. Therefore, the Miz and Bad Bunny match was probably going to last like a minute, and that they may have been able to slip in one of those matches that has been put on SmackDown Wrestlemania now this Friday.
I can't believe that's such a bullshit excuse.
Yeah.
WrestleMania SmackDown. It's just like, no, it's SmackDown before WrestleMania.
But do you understand my logic now?
I do. I completely understand your logic.
I think that this will now go not a significant amount of time, but longer than it would have if it was just Miz and Bad Bunny. Therefore, they want to have that on the card rather than any number of things that are being put. Well, I guess the tag team match, right? It's the tag team match and the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal that are going on SmackDown on Friday.
Yep.
Like one of the two of those, probably the tag team match, would have been on the show. I just don't understand why we haven't been told on night. I understand not having a match on the pre-show on night one, but on night two, feels like maybe one of those matches would have fit on night two's pre-show, especially the armbar.
The Memorial Battle Royal should have been somewhere on the card.
I'll go ahead and say it though with this Bad Bunny. So,
Bad Bunny and Priest.
Yeah.
I thought the fucking segment last night on Raw, which we already established on the other podcast.
Oh, he was bad. He was bad.
He was really bad, man. Maybe he came off more charismatic in Spanish. I don't know. It sounded more charismatic, maybe because it's a foreign language. But he's obviously done work to be able to speak English on the mic. But it was just, regardless, whoever wrote it, it didn't work. So I'm not gonna put it all on him. It just, there were a lot of things that didn't work, but he didn't help it.
Agreed. We all Bad Bunny, though. It seems like that's what they do with these celebrity. Just for me, they always seem to have the celebrity win.
Yeah. I feel like Damian Priest turns heel on him after the match.
Ooh, I like that.
Because Damian Priest as a face doesn't work.
No, he sucks as a face.
Yeah.
But then again, they want him for that Latin American market.
So let him be a Latin American dickhead. There's plenty of them, just like there's plenty of dickheads of every other race.
I don't know. Spend a lot of time building him up with one of your biggest superstars to make him an asshole. I don't know.
I think it's
working? That's the question.
I'm sorry.
Is it working?
Is it working? I think it's working in circles outside of ours. I think that it is actually.
But is it working to bring eyes to WWE, or is it working to elevate Damian Priest?
Very good question.
I think it is working a little bit of both, though.
I think it's both, and I think that's what this match will do. It brings eyes to WWE, and it allows Damian Priest to be like the anchor inside of the match. Bad Bunny can take one or two bigger bumps or whatever, they have planned for him, do a couple of move sets. And then other than that, Damian Priest holds it down. And like you just said, Duncan, he then turns heel on him, establishing him on the main roster as someone not to be fucked with. And I think that's a great way to do it. So, yeah, I'm with you guys.
Alrighty.
Bad Bunny all the way, right?
Bad Bunny and the D to the P.
All
BB/DP.
Let me write these down. We only got one match left for
Bianca
night
Belair.
1. Yeah, I gotta do
Bianca
it
Belair.
too.
It's the EST's time. Like this has all been building towards Sasha
It has
putting her
to.
over. Yeah,
it has to.
Yeah, so
You
we're all
have
beyond
to usher
that.
in this new group of women.
Yep.
You've had like 4 at the top. Like, not that they're not good, they're good, but like you gotta have a little bit more here.
Right.
And
it is also a tragedy that Bayley is not anywhere on WrestleMania.
That was one of the things that I did want to mention too. Is like, is there some way that they find what is it, ding dong segment or what have you, or
Dude,
I mean,
those
even
don't
that
fit.
Charlotte isn't on Mania is bizarre as well.
Yeah.
Is that a shocker?
I think that could now be something that's eventually added on. Not to this, but
yeah, I feel
think
like
there's another women's match where if Charlotte is a part of it, I think she comes in and takes it. If not, I go the other way. I'm not making an official
you're talking
stance
about
on this
Asuka
right now.
and Rhea.
Yeah.
Well, let's get right into it then. I mean, if we're talking
because
about
that would be the way to bring Charlotte.
Night 2 of WrestleMania.
Her and Rhea Ripley, like, you do that, and like, I mean, if you were to either she causes some fuckery, or she is able to enter as like a third opponent, then she can take it, and then you drive Rhea. If not, Rhea Ripley wins it.
I think Rhea Ripley wins it regardless.
I think Rhea Ripley wins it regardless, and I'll say that I loved seeing her really act like in such a minimal build that they've like been given for this. It seems like obviously been both of them thrown into this like, okay, make it work type scenario for WrestleMania. Yeah. And Ripley right now, she first comes out, challenges Asuka. Asuka accepts. Then like kind of next week, there's a situation where, we'll take on your tag team champs. Asuka accepts after she's bashed her head in, and then during that next match the following week, she's throwing Asuka to the wolves essentially to get beat up by Nia and
all
Shayna.
Of the glory and then none of the heat.
Exactly. And she's being like, I mean, she's acting as a heel. She hasn't acted this heelish ever in NXT.
And I love it.
And I love it. And I think it's I think it's a great way for you to get acquainted more, or the casual audience to get acquainted with what they have. And they need someone like that. They need that brutality. She's also being played out by, a musician. I believe isn't it Alice Cooper's
Strauss?
Guitarist?
Yeah, Hurricane Nita.
Yeah.
It's the same guitarist that played Shinsuke out. Yeah, Nita Strauss, Alice Cooper's guitarist. She's a badass. Like, she's a definite badass. But yeah, so Matthew, are you going Ripley as well?
Well, and I heard Santana is going to be there to play some cool guitar lines.
Oh, great.
Oh, yeah, Como.
Yeah. 2, I will say I am good. I want to go Rhea. It's if Charlotte comes in, but also part of me is like, are they going to switch both women's titles?
Yeah, I think absolutely.
It's the time to do it. I mean, there is a time to do it, and the time feels right. I think you can't really do much with Asuka winning the title after this. You got to do something else with her.
I got a pitch for you.
All right.
I think Charlotte costs Rhea, and Asuka retains the match. Rhea's about to win, and Charlotte costs Rhea because.
Are you changing your?
Yes, I'm going Asuka.
I
am. I'm going to do that because I think that lends itself to Rhea then eventually picking it up and then having a very great Charlotte-Rhea feud And I think,
I
honestly, I think Charlotte probably picks it up from Asuka first, and then Rhea chases Charlotte for that belt, and then she beats Charlotte for that. I think that's the story.
They already did the Charlotte Rhea thing last year at Mania, and
I want to be wrong on this one, because I'm such a
wasn't.
big fan of Rhea, but I just have a weird feeling about it, and so I'm just gonna go with Asuka.
There you go.
Duncan, you're going with Rhea Ripley. Matthew, 100%. What are you feeling?
I'm gonna go. Charlotte comes out, fucks up Rhea Ripley, so that and thinking that she got her, and she's not gonna win. She fucking still wins, and then throws in her face, and you can still do that feud.
Okay, so
I'm gonna go Rhea Ripley.
Okay, great.
Okay. I like yours. I like yours a lot. That's kind of what I want to see. The Fiend with Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton in the singles
Fiend
match.
destroys him.
I mean, it's got to be
it's a squash. Fiend will murder Randy Orton. There's no other alternative.
Done.
And if it doesn't happen,
to be.
Fuck off.
They didn't do anything last night other than the video package. They will show us 8 times on Saturday. So
SmackDown is also the show that those two are on.
It's going to be the same thing. There's nothing else for them to do.
So we're all going the
Alexa
Fiend.
Bliss fucking
yes, we're all going Fiend.
Skip around and do the same shit over and over again.
And
literally say someone's going to die.
How do they do this match? Is it kind of like half start in ring, turn into cinematic match? Is it just full
I think
cinematic
there's no cinematic at
really?
all.
Nothing.
Nope.
Like you think
Nothing.
it's a straight up match between Crispy Fiend and
I think that the match lasts about 15 seconds. And I think the Fiend obliterates Randy Orton.
And does something with fire.
And then sets him on fire. Sure.
He's going to do something with fire.
Something with fire. Yeah, in general. All right. Yeah. I mean, I'll probably be like, okay, that was pretty cool.
Oh, Alexa Bliss can sacrifice herself and suicide bomb as a blow up as a fire bomb.
Riddle versus Sheamus. United States Championship match.
I don't care.
Riddle. I mean, I think it's Riddle. What I don't like right now, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, is
stupid fucking birds.
Where do these birds say? Like when he flips off his fucking flip flops, like that's cool enough. We don't need to get birds flying out your feet, bro. Like I mean,
no one needs that.
But at the same time, I don't think they're taking that belt off Riddle with the amount of other title changes that happen. You know,
this one's insignificant.
This one, I'm thinking.
So we're Riddle across the board.
We're Riddle and
yep,
yeah.
Do the one I really don't care about.
Ooh, which one is that?
The Nigerian drum fight.
Well, this I have a weird feeling might be better than we think it's gonna be, and I'm gonna go Apollo Crews all day long.
Yeah.
He's got to win his Nigerian drum fight, or all this fucking is for naught.
So it is for naught. Like literally, he's lost every single time.
Yeah.
And last pay-per-view, I went with Big E over that, thinking that this is going to be the time that they're going to.
Well, it should have been he lost at Fastlane so that he could Big E would take it back at Mania. That's what it should have been.
I think it's going to make a bigger impact with him losing it on Mania.
With Big E losing on Mania, so you're going Apollo as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the safe one. I don't care about this match. We've
seen it too many times. They had a really good chance to make it work, and they kind of lost it midway.
Yeah, they just they went to the well once too many times.
Weirdly, Apollo Crews is the one saving this somehow with his new gimmick and with I think he's the one that's saving this.
But does it work with anybody else? Does the weird Nigerian prince gimmick work with anybody?
I think it can.
I just
why
other roster, but I'm just asking because it doesn't have a whole lot of bite to me. I get it, he's got an attitude now, but I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I just don't buy it.
He's got me with it. maybe, hopefully, Duncan, you can come around to the Nigerian way one day with me, and you'll see.
That sounds very, very racist.
No, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
Owen
God,
knows a prince that he's been
I
giving
say
money
nothing.
to every month.
I say nothing.
I'm going with Apollo Crews because I don't care.
All right. AC across the board. KO and Sami Zayn, though.
KO.
KO, huh?
Yep.
Fuck. I mean, it's probably going to be KO. But
No, it's probably going to be Sami Zayn. I just
Really?
like,
You think that?
yes, because KO shoved Logan Paul, so somehow he's going to get involved. I cared about this match until they added Logan Paul to it, and I could not give less of a fuck because I don't care how good it is. He's going to play into the finish, and it's going to be the barbed wire death match finish of the match. It's going to shit on whatever good match they have.
Logan Paul, I think, is going to cost Sami Zayn, therefore, with KO winning. So I'm with you on it. It's KO, probably. Yeah. Matthew.
KO.
Gotta do it. At least one of us chose a different thing on this night. And then
Okay.
we got the main event though too. I mean, and this one it still baffles me. I go every day.
Well, we have two more matches.
Did you go women's?
Oh
No,
shit,
he
you're
did
right.
not.
Oh, we haven't done that yet.
No, we have not. But this is where the Reggie connection comes.
This
into
is
play.
where the Reggie connection comes
and
in.
ultimately the winner of the match is Reginald.
Yeah, 100%. Nia
Nia
Jax and Shayna Baszler versus the tag team turmoil winners, which then, you get, I mean, we'll do it like we did the last one, you know? You're not predicting your tag team turmoil winner, you're predicting that it's not Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Ooh, see, that's tough.
So
I would rather. I don't like that.
Well, that's the way we did it for Takeover, so I'd like to keep it uniform. So it's either
see, but I don't agree with that because.
But it's the same exact thing as what we did with Takeover.
Yeah, but the only.
But I don't like that, so we can't.
No,
do that.
but this is the difference though. Is when the way we did it with Takeover, it was just like, okay, whatever.
Well, we all picked the same shit for the last one anyway, right?
For people who aren't in the match, if those two are in the match, then they will win the women's tag team titles. If they are not in the match, then Nia and Shayna will retain. But so
unless we did a podcast on the end of night one, we won't know this. So we I don't know what to do, man.
Then I am going to say, I'm just going to straight call, fine, whatever, stupid, not Nia.
Yeah, I'm going belt change here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's a belt change unless it's Carmella and Billie Kay. If it's not Carmella and Billie Kay,
I think it could be that or Riot Squad.
I think it could be the actual Iconics as well.
Yeah,
That's why I'm going. We'll call it the Tag Team Turmoil Winners TTT Dub.
I'm going with TTT Dub. I'm going with T3.
All right, T3. All right, I'll do a little thing for you. TTT Dub for Matthew. Now we get into the meat and potatoes of the event. The one that we really. No one can predict this one. You can apply all sorts of logic to it, and they all keep wrapping around each other. You know, like there's all sorts.
There's arguments to be made for Roman.
Every single one of them.
To be made for Edge. There's arguments to be made for D-Bry. Like it's just sort of like
this is a dice roll. This is a dice roll. Really,
it really is. It really is. I'm going D-Bry.
I admire your D-Bry. I really do. Because. That's what Hart wants.
Yeah.
I'm going Roman.
Roman.
I'm going Roman. I think he retains. I think it's a big shock at the end of the night with Roman holding up that belt.
I think it's gonna. I also think it's Edge. I don't think it's.
I
Roman.
know.
I
mean,
think
it
Roman
could be.
drops the belt.
So fuck it. So fuck it. I'll
You
go
gonna
to
go Edge?
33%. I'm gonna go Edge.
Edge
we
it
go.
is. Well, he is Canadian as well, so it does
That's
fit
true.
in.
Yeah, I gotta stay
Yeah.
with my brethren.
Yeah,
And he did. And he was in the greatest wrestling match ever.
He was. I mean, it was the greatest.
Well, which I hope to see part 2 of one day.
Right.
That's the only thing keeping me watching wrestling is the fact that there might be a greatest wrestling match ever part 2.
Randy Orton, can you go? Can Randy go away for a while? Can we have Randy?
I think that's what
why-
has to happen. The Fiend is going to burn him or something, and he goes away for a while. He has to. He has to like literally be doing pop-ups outside of Lululemon pop-ups to sell his shitty ass merchandise, and he's got to do that with his wife for a while.
The Slither.
Is there any way we can get Bailey onto the show?
Yeah, just ask her to be your friend.
Yeah.
Ding
I mean,
dong, hello.
I feel like I feel like there's something. Like they're gonna do something quick, even if it's just to get her, a segment. Like maybe, and I'm not saying she has it in a match, but she has done too much over this past year, and grown so much that I feel really bad for her not having a match and not being involved in this WrestleMania. Like
so
it feels like a crime to me.
Wise then, is she a WrestleMania surprise?
Who? Bailey?
Bailey, like they do something like I don't think it'd be that big of a surprise. It wouldn't be a Brock Lesnar type surprise. But let's talk surprises.
Surprises.
Do you think there are? Do you think there is a?
What if there's another team? Like, what if it's not Billy Kay and Carmelo?
Them, yeah.
What if it's Bailey and Raquel?
Ooh, I like it, but
I mean,
like
I'm just
I do like it.
spitballing.
I do. No, I do. I like it. I don't think that'll happen, but
I mean,
I would
don't
like
think
an
a lot of things
alignment
will
with
happen.
like that with Bailey. I would like something where she partners up with like a bruiser chick, like a big,
But then it's just basically a female version of AJ and Omos.
Yeah, but I mean, there's ways they could make it, better than that. You know what? Your big surprise is Ben getting inserted. I
honestly
don't. Gronk.
I think you pitched it earlier. The big surprise would be something with Brock. I mean, but then again, that's interesting if they were to blow that big surprise on night 1 and not night 2. But maybe that makes you tune in for night 2 because you never know what you're gonna get. So I can see that logic. I can see it being a Brock, and setting up something with him and Lashley or Drew or what have you.
Yeah.
Apart from that, like I know I curse the world by throwing out the Bellas, but there is, I mean, Hall of Fame weekend, all that. They're done having kids and whatever, so maybe that. Cena
doing what?
Fuck if I know. Being Cena,
I don't know.
Maybe
Taker
he's the
comes
one that
back.
comes out.
He
Maybe he's the first one out.
Taker beats the Fiend and Randy Orton.
Okay.
He could be still in the firehouse if they do it cinematic. There's something they could do with Cena there.
I just feel like they're not gonna do it cinematic. Like they
have fans.
I have a weird feeling it's gonna be half and half.
I agree, Duncan. They have fans.
Yeah, they have fans. I don't think it's.
But I don't think that they can. Which I've said before in the podcast and obviously thought before, but like. The same way they were doing those Alexa segments where she was like changing between outfits and things, and they could do the cuts because they didn't have the live crowd.
Right.
They've taken liberties without a live crowd to make live seem cinematic, and they can't make live seem that cinematic in front of the crowd.
Right. Yeah.
Which I still want.
Agree.
I agree, Owen. I would absolutely love them. I think I've said it multiple times on the podcast that I would want there to be this weird cinematic Firefly Funhouse 2 type thing.
just think it
I
could
just
be
don't know
both.
if they do it. If they do it, they would have to do some sort of like match into you entered the Fiend's Funhouse.
That's kind of what
like,
I'm thinking. He
Like
pulls you
a
under the
set,
ring, and underneath the
but
ring is
but
the firefighter.
but yeah, but I think that's okay. But then like, how do you end it? You have to end it in front of the crowd.
Yeah.
is the way you would have
Yeah.
to book that.
Then they
So you have to come out of
eventually
it
have one of
somehow.
them. Yeah, well, they just chill underneath the ring until the video is over, and then one of them
Not
climbs
gonna
out
work.
and pulls it out.
Not
and
100% not gonna work. on
they
the
did
first
worms
shows.
on a projector, bro. They're
Yes, when they were running shows with people every fucking like 5 days a week.
I'm just saying,
This
don't
is
put it
not
past them. Don't put it past them.
Dude, I think that for the first weekend of people back, they're gonna play it pretty close and pretty safe.
Scale of 1 to 10, you guys, how excited are you for Mania in comparison to other Manias that you've watched?
I think
Live.
I'm 100% more excited
Me
than
too.
I was last year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I
on a
think
scale of
that's
1 to 10, I'm an 8.5 for sure. You know,
Yeah,
I'm pretty.
I'm solid.
I don't hate the card. I mean, there's
No.
some goofus shit on here, but at the same time, there's some really good stuff on here, and I think they've done a really good job of mixing up the casual fan audience, the indie audience, the big,
Well, like all the different
main
types of wrestling people, novice, like super smarks, like
It's-
wrestling fans.
it's represented well.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I think it's been represented well more than a lot of other shows in previous years, to be honest with you.
I'd
So in that, I think they've done a fantastic job. Maybe some of the builds could have been a little bit better, but at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I'll be watching. I know you guys will be watching. Anything else you want to add before we roll out of here? I think I'm good. We did a long night tonight, boys. Thank you, everybody. If you've tuned in on Twitch and checked us out, make sure to do so again. Every Tuesday evening, we do a Ohno Wrestling podcast that we air live on twitch.tv/ONRS. If you're wondering what that ONRS is for, that's, of course, for Ohno Radio Show, which is my primary broadcast, which I do on Thursday evenings. Of course, over at, twitch.tv/ONRS Live and, OhnoRadioshow.com. And it's usually at 8:30 and all that type of stuff. You can find all the info on our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/Ohno Radio Show. Find the Facebook group for this particular program, which is over at Ohno Wrestling. Again, OHNO Wrestling. You'll find it. You'll go in there and you'll have some fun with other people, the like-minded, people that having fun talking about wrestling. And you can find all the updates about this particular show as well. These two guys, Duncan, Matthew, also do a show called Nobody Cares Go Harder. You find that at nobodycaresgoharder.com and wherever you find podcasts. It's a good listen. And, patreon.com/ONRS if you want to throw us a couple bucks. What else? Oh, at Ohno Wrestling for our Instagram. There's an Instagram that Duncan manages. He'll fuck with you. He'll talk. He'll mess with you, right, Duncan? You'll.
Oh yeah.
You ever get weird wrestling fans talking to you on there?
All wrestling fans are weird.
Oh well.
No, most of them talk to me in person.
That's a good point
They
too.
wear shit like this out in public.
Matthew, how you feeling about your chances of retaining your championship?
Feeling good, feeling great, feeling good. How are you?
You got it covered?
Like the losers, cronies over there. Because you know
yeah.
what? I told you guys a couple of pay-per-views ago that I'd be taking this bitch on a run. I'd be doing the full year. And not just a WrestleMania year. I started a few months before on my run. So I'll see you guys on the other side of this. And I'll still be holding my belt and you'll be kissing my straps.
Look at this motherfucker. God damn it. Duncan, enjoy your time at NXT TakeOver Stand to Deliver tomorrow. And what do we say when we get out of here, boys?